Introduce myself and explain to them, because they're going to wonder why, again, due process didn't happen. Why did you wait? I was supposed to be done on May the 7th, but then in the meantime, we had Jeff to resign, so we were in the middle of, finding a replacement. So things are happening. And I will report at the meetings for you.
What are the majority of your
The majority is mostly mow grass, junk. One person's junk is another one's treasure. You have to watch that. A lot of it is parking on sidewalks, and a lot of it is parked cars in the homes, in their yards. If a vehicle has been parked there more than 10 days with a flat tire, it's got to go. If grass is taller than 12 inches, it's got to be mowed. Weeds, that's basically what we're looking at right now. Of course, it's summertime as well.
Swimming pool issue.
We have a swimming pool issue that it's going to give us a lot of trouble. We'll get it done. You have to have a fence around a swimming pool in a neighborhood. The last thing I want to hear is if we have to have the fire department, the ambulance, take care of the drowning, and we didn't do anything about it. So that is why you have ordinances in place. That's why you go out and talk to these people and get them compliant. Thank you.
The trailer park demo, as you guys can see, is told to the city council. They were still working on that. Got, I believe, most of the trailers down, and still continuing to accomplish that. And can't wait for that. Any questions or anything on the Worthington trailer park cleanup? Harvester's mailboxes. I've reached out to Travis Woodyard several times to get a bid on that. He's not returned my call. So, we're going to see maybe if you guys have anybody, any contractors that maybe you can recommend to give us a bid, get a few bids on that.
I have a question there.
Sure.
The city's not thinking about footing the bill for building that, are they? A cover over the mailboxes?
We had talked about in a previous council meeting that we was thinking about that.
I don't know how we could use taxpayers' money to put a cover over mailboxes. There used to be ones there when the place was built. Somebody ran into it. There should be an accident report somewhere where the person's insurance is taking care of that. I don't know how to find out. Somebody told me it could go back, but there was an accident report. You have insurance. Insurance pays for the damage, property damage. I don't think it should be the city's responsibility to pay for a cover over the mailboxes because there's not one on Oakwood. And if there's ever another building or apartment buildings that come in or homes that are built a subdivision and they do the same thing, they're going to look at us and say, we want one like at Harvester's. You all need to pay for that.
I get that. Can we, would you be willing to work with me on maybe trying to find out if that accident?
Probably law enforcement, I think it's probably been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that.
That's not, we probably be able to do that, but the reason why that I even brought that up was because the several complaints of their mail was getting wet, and 300 homes in there compared to maybe Oakwood with maybe 25. She has to put the mail in to those slots, and if it's raining, it takes all day and everybody's mail gets wet. Where at Oakwood, and I get your point, if we do it for one, the others will want to be, but I think that's the only one in the city. Correct me if I'm wrong, they've just got that many people that, and they're taxpayers also.
Long time ago, didn't there used to be a homeowners association and arbiters where they had a list of things for you to do?
They had a list of things.
Who was in charge of that list of things?
That's given to each home buyer by Hicks and Mann. Skyway Realty is the one that's selling the homes. When I had mine built, they gave me those letters of things you can and can't do in subdivision.
Sounds like it might be
But you talked about that boxes down there. We had to have them boxes turned the other direction because they were out in the street and the guy in a wheelchair couldn't get his mail. because they actually had a fence along the side of that building that came entered. So they came down, they turned the mailboxes around so he can get it from the sidewalks way. But now, when the accident occurred on that thing, we were told that the money from the insurance company went to the city.
I do not know, but if.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying it went to the city, and the city said it cost them more money to tear it down than what they got.
I think JD just drug it off, to be
No,
honest.
JD didn't do
He didn't do
it. No,
Okay.
A lot of the things, the problems with that shelter too, the rafters, the kids were using them as monkey bars and stepping on top of the mailboxes, which were messing up the seal, which when it hit the mail would get wet. Sounds like it might be something that a note goes to the Harborshires residents asking how they want to help take care of that problem that's a Harborshires problem, not Crittenden taxpayers and general.
well, if the insurance went to the city, then the city should give that portion back to help build it.
If
We
we
went
can
out,
find that, I will make a motion. If we find that, I will make that motion that the money that the city got from the insurance, go for that. I would make that motion.
because we
If we
paid
can
for
find
that
it.
sign ourselves. The people that own residents in the other harvesters, we paid for the harvester sign that's up front. Since the gentleman that bought the house didn't want it, then he since sold it. The new people said we could put a sign up there. So we went out and got the money from each homeowner to pay for that sign to be built.
I'm wondering if we could develop a group or a few people, maybe from the harvesters, from the city, to get with the post office and see what options are available there, maybe just new boxes. And somehow we could maybe help fund that and then charge the residents for that, at least a
The
small
post
portion.
office wants nothing to do with it. They have no jurisdiction on that. I've gone all the way to the Postmaster General in DC, and they do not have the responsibility of a shelter.
I'm asking that as
Well,
well.
I'm not talking about a shelter, I'm talking about actually
And different
replacing.
boxes.
But they're not gonna give the boxes. They only gave certain new boxes out, and they're not gonna replace the other ones because it costs too much for them.
Yeah, they wasn't willing to budge on that. I told them.
We'll already talked to them.
Miss Megan, if you look back and see if the city did receive any money from that. I believe Hicks and Man put that shelter up.
Yes, they did.
Is Hicks and Man still on that lake?
Part of the lake is owned by the homeowners on that side of Harvest Way, and then the other side is, the other half of the lake is owned by either Skyway Realty or Hicks and Man.
It's Hicks and Man. Have they been mowing or weeding around that?
No?
Thank you. They still own part of that. Some of the homeowners do own certain parts of it. Alex has looked at that situation. We're probably gonna have to send a letter to the Hicks and Man in regards to, or something from the code enforcement on weeding in that lake.
Last 5 years, the residents have been mowing and weed eating there and behind the mailboxes.
And they're not happy about it.
Nope.
So on the mailbox issue, can I just ask that that comes back to the city council before we actually enter into an agreement with someone to fix that? To see what the cost is going to be, just keep us informed.
I was just getting a bid before the budget, but just never even got back with it. We'll take it down to we've been kind of throwing an idea about helping out the splash park with the county. And Maddie Gutman came and was you here, Tom, when Maddie came? And talked about the splash park, and we was maybe willing to, and my thought was helping out with the county. They would, we could talk to each other and maybe work out some kind of deal. I don't know if they've gotten the grant yet. Do you know, Chuck, if there's a grant?
And we won't be doing anything this summer, and it's not what we're working on. We're gonna be looking at the cost of operation and all that throughout the summer.
Okay.
Carrollton put one in that's similar to this one, so we're still doing our homework on it. So it'd be something we'd like to partner with you on, but it'd probably be next summer. So it'll be in our next budget.
Is there a proposed summer or scope of work yet as far as how big or?
Maddie and I was going to make a trip to Carrollton, if she hasn't already. I've been there once, but we was going to go down together and take her coworker down there and measure and kind of get an idea about what theirs is, kind of replicate what they have.
Joe, it's a minimum of 50 by 50, the actual platform, the concrete. And it's got, I think, probably 10 to 12 sprinkler system type things on it.
Okay. You did say minimum 50 by 50?
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk, I've addressed a representative for the city to sit on the fire department executive board as a representative for us as civil service. Fred Spanier has agreed to sit on that committee. And I'd like, for Fred to get with Lee and see where you guys meet. Just kind of come back and let the council know if you guys have any questions or anything that fire department talk about, you can come back and let us know, represent. Okay.
Mayor, if you please, before this could actually become an official member of the executive board, we would have to change our bylaws, because right now with the bylaws that we have registered with the state, it's a 6-member board. But as we had discussed before, one of our eventual goals, if you would, is to have a representative from the fiscal court as well as a representative of the city that will sit in, serving 2-year terms. Now, terms actually begin January 1. So our meetings are open to the public. So of course, Fred wants to come in, he wants to sit in, observe, and report. He is more than welcome. But as far as actually sitting on the board, we have a couple of steps to take before that can occur. We also eventually want to get it to where there are going to be 2 at-large elections held, so that 2 persons that live within the district that wish to run for the positions, again, will take seats and then serve 2-year terms. And we are allowed to do that under the Chapter 75 to 273 organization form. So that's what we're wanting to do. He won't be actually on the board as of yet, but will be able to report back to you, take part in discussions, etc.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was under the impression this was going to be, we were going to have a member of fiscal court and a member of the city council.
We said representative, a representative of, because as busy as everybody is, for one of the magistrates to say that they're going to actually be able to sit on the committee, or one of the council persons may be overreaching our goal. But somebody that the city council and the fiscal court appoints and they feel comfortable with, that's fine.
So appointed.
We want to make those spots so that it does give us the representation from the 2 governing bodies. Yes, sir.
Chief, when are your meetings?
Our meetings are usually the last Thursday of each month.
Last what day?
The last Thursday of each month. And if we have problems with scheduling, then we may move it up or back, but that's announced 30 days in advance.
And that's open to the public?
That is correct, sir.
What time?
They start at 7 o'clock p.m. Sorry. 7 o'clock p.m. Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, you want 2 people voted onto your board from the general public down the road.
I don't care how the city comes about coming up with that decision, nor do I care how the fiscal court does. What I want is I want the city and the fiscal court to have representation, because we're constantly getting asked questions on how decisions are made, where monies are going, where are we going to go in the future,
Like the 911 board.
like the 911 board. So if they have representatives to where they can send someone to ask questions, broach certain subjects, when they're on the board and they have voting powers, then in essence, you've got the city and the county both being able to vote and steer the department forward down the road. So how you all want to come up with it is your business. How the fiscal court wishes to do it will be theirs. We're wanting to have that representation, which in our opinion adds validity to our executive council. Because trust me, it's definitely not me making all the decisions. Right, Richard?
So what I'm asking you is, you want one from the city, one from the court, and then two